In this video I'm going to show you how to use Microsoft Excel to create a data block for Simatic Manager project. Microsoft Excel is a much more user-friendly tool for creating a table such as that of a data block, especially if there is lots of repetitive information. Within Excel you can use autofill features, making it much more easier and quicker to write your data block. So under the Microsoft Excel, under column A we will enter our symbolic name for our data block. So for this example I am going to use error codes or error messages, as if the data block is going to be used for sending error messages to a HMI. This way it makes it much more easier. So we enter our symbolic name, then we insert under column B a colon, under column C is our data types. These are all going to be bool, and then we enter a colon with an equal sign, and then we set our initial value, which will be false, and we finish with a semicolon. Now for ease I am going to use autofill just to create 30 error messages in our data block. Microsoft Excel makes it super easy to do this. When we're done, we save the file, and we save it as a formatted text with space delimited .prn file. And I'm going to save this on my desktop and just leave it called as book 1. Just OK the message and yes to the next one, and you can close Excel, note the changes, and here we have book1.prn file. Now to import this into Simatic Manager it needs to be a different file type, so we rename this to book1.awl. Now if we go into our Simatic Manager and under our program, right click, insert new object, external source, and on our desktop we select our book1.awl file and open, and you'll see it's inserted this under sources, and object name can be renamed if we wish, but I'm just going to leave it as it is. Now if we double click and open this book 1, we can see a text box with our 30 error messages which we have generated in Microsoft Excel. We just insert the text tab to the top of the text box, and then we go to insert, block template, and select DB for our data block. Now you can see all this extra text that has been added to this text box. The green text that's just for comment and has no effect. Blue text is something that will be saved, so here we can select our data block number, and I'm just going to have data block 2. Title, I'm just going to leave it as is. You can change author name, family name, version. These are all things you can change when you're creating a data block in Simatic Manager. Here you can do it for yourself. I'm just going to put LA in here and leave everything else as is. Now you can see we have our struct and end struct for our data block, and between here is where we need our data. So we're just going to select all our errors and cut, and we are just going to paste this between struct and end struct, and we're just going to delete this line here and also this line between begin and end data block. When you're happy that all your data required for your data block is correct between struct and end struct, we can then save and compile the data. The data has now been compiled, 0 errors, 0 warnings. We can now close this down, and if we look under blocks, we have this data block 2 which was created, and all the details that were in that text box have been added to the comments and the family. And if we open up the data block, here we can see our data block is complete with all our error symbolic names that we chose in Excel, our data type, and our initial values. Now you can use Excel for creating all your different data types, whether that be a word, an array, integer. Insert all your initial values, export exactly the same way, import the way it's just demonstrated here, and it will all be complete within your data block. Very handy way of creating data blocks very quickly, and once you've learned how to do it, it's real simple. Anyway, I hope you found this useful. Come and take a look at us over at learningautomation.net and get involved with projects and join the community.